From orphan to entrepreneur, David Bousseau was a self-made millionaire at 35 years of age when he decided that he wanted to give something back.
We don't ask the question often of ourselves, just how much is enough.
David's solution was to offer small business loans, giving people a hand up instead of a hand out.
We saw a need, and we could see by giving some of our friends just a small loan, that would really help them.
David came to the conclusion that building infrastructure didn't solve the poverty issue. What you had to do is give people access to capital, to credit, so that they could then build their businesses.
That was the beginning of the program which we then called Opportunity International.
Currently, Opportunity International has $1.25 million loans to people in 23 countries. For a total of $500 million, it creates a job every 30 seconds of the day.
We are very, very proud, Mom. We are very, very proud and very, very happy and very, very thankful.
I really believe in the concept of the end of poverty in our lifetime. I believe in it, and it's guys like Dave that can actually see that happen.
When he changes this world, a person in a neighborhood and a community at a time, they know where he's from. They know that he's an Australian, and he is very proud of that.
Thank you. There's a character in the Chinese alphabet for crisis, which is exactly the same character for the word opportunity. And what I find with social entrepreneurs are that there are people who see a crisis or a need or a situation that is an opportunity. And in my life, what I've tried to do is to find marketplace solutions for social problems. All too often we turn to charity as our first response for a global crisis or a disaster. And I want to suggest to you that the marketplace has the power to transform the lives of people and have much more impact than charity. We have a job in front of us, and one of my passions is how do we redeem the marketplace? How do we restore the marketplace so it's not seen as the villain? All too often in the past, we've seen business and commerce is the reason for poverty, the cause of poverty. But I want to suggest to you that it's only the marketplace that is going to take people out of poverty with dignity. I want to suggest to you that the old concepts and paradigms of wealth redistribution is not the answer to long-term sustainable societies. It's only a few decades ago that we all embraced the Robin Hood theory of we take from the affluent to give to the disadvantaged. And what I'm finding is that a better solution is wealth creation rather than wealth redistribution. How do we enable and equip those that are marginalised, those that are disenfranchised in our communities to connect with the marketplace? So those of us in this room here have that potential within us to look at the marketplace and see how can we make it relevant to poverty situations around the world. Just want to give you an example, and often real social entrepreneurs look for new boundaries and new frontiers to challenge. I've recently started up a program in North Korea. We're the only finance company in North Korea. It's a joint venture with the North Korean government. Often we look for solutions that are outside the real problem rather than getting inside the problem and working with people, like Tony's doing, for example, or like Andreas is doing. So in North Korea we have a joint venture with the Ministry of Finance, and we're encouraging entrepreneurship in a socialist, communist context. So there are challenges out there. For those of you that are up for a challenge, there are still many out there for us. And I personally believe that the marketplace is the place that we should turn to provide these solutions. I don't call myself a social entrepreneur anymore. The word is so blurred and it's become so many different things to people. I just call myself a social capitalist, a capitalist pig. Because often the word capitalism, once again, has been maligned, and we need to restore it so that it has credibility and value. And once again, there's this potential in this room for us to transform the marketplace. Not just the lives of the poor, but you have the opportunity to transform the marketplace and make it work for those that are disenfranchised. To work for them, not against them. And that power is in your hands. You have contacts and influence and relationships where you can encourage others to use the marketplace and commerce to make a difference in the world. I'm finding that there's amazing interest from multinationals now. I'm working with 9 different multinationals around the world, helping them to get an alignment between their product and a social problem. Not the old-fashioned corporate philanthropy where you just fund a preschool or another library, but actually, what is your product and how can you use that product in the marketplace to impact the lives of the poor? Thank you.
Thanks, David. Listening to Tony and to David, I can see 3 themes emerging about your work, things that I think you all have in common. Creating opportunity, helping people restore their dignity, but also very importantly, changing the perceptions of everybody about the nature of problems and the nature of solutions. And I think that theme also provides a good introduction to our 3rd outlaw, rogue, maverick, Andreas Heinecke. Andreas is an Ashoka Fellow, and he's also a Fellow of the Schwab Foundation. And he's the founder of an international organization called Dialogue in the Dark. Dialogue in the Dark has employed 6,000 blind and visually impaired people around the world in 30 countries to take part in a unique and very provocative program. And I think Andreas has a video to show us what that's all about.
Well, for many of us, life without the sense of sight seems unimaginable. A unique exhibition called Dialogue in the Dark, underway in southern Seoul, offers visitors a chance to see beyond the visible. Park Soo-jin takes us there.
Ever imagine living in complete darkness without any idea of how the world looks? Well, Dialogue in the Dark is a one-of-a-kind opportunity to experience life using all your senses but sight. After a brief orientation, visitors are given a white cane to find their way in a pitch-dark room that includes a park, marketplace, and even a bar where you can order a drink. Sounds impossible? Well, quite possible with the help of a visually impaired guide.
Before the visits, I would say that 90% would state that being blind is one of the most cruel living conditions, and you have no understanding of how people can be happy, or you even don't imagine that blind people have fun in their life, for instance.
I was more focused on the visible until now, but I came to understand the importance of other senses, like hearing and touch.
Besides making maximum use of the remaining 4 senses, visitors are encouraged to engage in continuous dialogue with each other throughout the 1-hour-long tour.
Well, in the beginning, I really felt kind of scared. Well, I didn't know what would come actually, but after a couple of minutes, I really felt the bond with the guide and my students as well.
As visitors say, the absence of sight, ironically, allows for a more profound connection between people.
There's this friendship that you make in the dark that you cannot really make when you see the person.
The tour not only offers non-disabled people a chance to put on the shoes of the visually impaired, but also empowers the socially marginalized to become more aware of their potential.
Until now, I agonized over what I could do, but I realized that I could do something through this experience. In the dark, the visually impaired are definitely stronger.
This unique exhibition drew more than 5 million visitors in 130 cities across the world since its launch in 1988. On its first tour in Seoul, the eye-opening exhibit runs until March 11th at the Seoul Art Center. Park Soo-jin, Arirang News.